welcome to Midsumma Musings, where we're going to have a powwow with some midsummer performers. My first guest is no stranger to Bent TV or to the Victorian or Australian gay scene, really. It's Daniel Witthaus.
Hi.
Hi. Now, you're, like me, no stranger to doing multiple things in the gay community. And with Midsumma this year for 2015, you're doing multiple things. I know what that's like. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it?
Sure is.
What made you want to do your own show? It's still your spoken word with Niche, the National Institute. Oh, I'm going to get the words wrong.
For challenging homophobia
For challenging
education.
homophobia education.
Yes.
And you're also having your book, Beyond Priscilla. It's being made into a short play, and it's being shown at Gasworks.
Sure.
What made you want to do so many things during the midsummer season?
Well, it's a little problem that I have that I keep on saying yes to things and think about the work that it's going to take afterwards. But I guess the idea for me is that, it's been a huge 12 months for me. I've had a chance to get my book out there and talk about all the work that I do in rural communities with LGBTI people and also challenging homophobia from mainstream Australia. But the idea is, how can I get these stories out in a number of different formats? So the fact that someone came and said, I would really love to work on a play with you, and to get that into a kind of theatre format is great, with the view of touring that to actual regional and rural areas. So the fact that this will start conversations in communities. And I guess, having a one-man show, like I'm used to doing training, I'm used to doing talks. I just wanted to, for once, go, I'm going to get up and tell all of the stories that I can't say when I'm in schools or when I'm doing interviews like this, I guess.
True. Well, yeah. So is it it's a bit of an adults-only kind of... Yeah, but it's a deeper tone.
It's a behind-the-scenes kind of roll on the hay, adults only, and it's where I take myself as this little gay boy in Geelong. How did I get to be flying the world, working in developing countries, challenging homophobia, and what brought me back to do a 266-day drive around rural Australia? So it's about the stories, but it's behind the scenes about what's it like to do this for 20 years. So a lot of people have a lot of questions about that.
So. I mean, you get up in front of schools, speaking is, you're a very confident person, speaking something that you have no problem doing. But suddenly you've got to take that and translate that into performing your own show. Now, I heard a rumour that you're singing in this show.
I'm singing for the first time in my life in public, and it's... I wanted to stretch myself. I actually wanted to stretch myself, and I wanted to see how I'd go if I was stretched. And anyway, you're making me blush now.
Good. That's part of my plan.
And I might be blushing after I actually sing on stage.
I mean, that's pretty exciting, and that's pretty bold to kind of go. Okay, you've been doing talks as a part of Niche in Midsumma for the past couple of years. You're a public speaker. There's so many things in which you do, and you're going to take it and do it a little differently. That's pretty exciting, and that's pretty bold and fun. I mean, Midsumma's quite a good festival when you think about it that way as well, isn't it? Where you can kind of create something like that and throw it into the world and see where it goes. Yeah,
Midsumma for me is a really good testing ground. Not only can I get people to come along for this fundraiser for the National Institute for Challenging Homophobia Education, but also, it's about supporting venues like Hares and Hyenas, who year-round will have spoken word and performances and really support, the LGBTI communities.
Absolutely.
And it's a chance for me to try something out myself and to try and connect outside of, all the professional stuff that I do.
Well, you're going to know what it's like to be me at the end of Midsumma, when you're going to feel so tired after doing so many things.
I'll need to take, February and March off.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Do you have a favourite Midsumma memory?
A favourite Midsumma memory? I think that my favourite Midsumma memory probably was the second Pride March. I came up from Geelong, so I was a youth worker, kind of volunteer in Geelong, and we took up a group of young people to do this march. And I'd always heard about Mardi Gras. I didn't know what to expect. And at that stage, we were the only regional, anywhere outside of Victoria, that actually was going to be marching with Pride March. And when we marched down the street and we had our banner which said "Gasp Geelong" for the project that's still running, it recently had its 18th birthday. Mm-hmm. We just got these incredible cheers because people, you'd hear people go, Geelong, really? But it was just that thing about feeling welcomed and going, gee, we're slogging away with this project supporting young people in Geelong, but actually it means a lot more than just to these young people who we're taking. And of course, the young people had a blast. And
I mean, that's one of the things I love about Pride March. It's all the groups that come out of Melbourne and come to be a part of that day. It's so much fun. I mean, I guess we're just used to seeing it, really. We've got, we've got the groups that we know, and you've got Joy and everything marching through, and we know that they're there and supported already. But it's so much fun when you see people with their kids and families. I just love it. It's really exciting.
So, and I can't wait for more of those.
Oh, more and more. It's exactly the way to be. So it's a pretty exciting thing to do. And then you've also taken your book and changed it. It's been made into a play. Have you been very hands-on with that?
I've been lucky enough to be working with a really talented playwright called Gavin Roach, who did Confessions of a Grinder Addict, and he's working with his director. And I've had quite a bit of a hand of turning a book with lots and lots of words and stories and actually getting some depth. And I literally, when I heard the first draft and what he'd done with it, he took some things that it's nice to have your own stories and know them really well, and then actually go, oh wow, that really kind of
hits you right there.
Hit me right here. And so hopefully that's how everybody else is finding it, as it travels around. But fingers crossed.
And see where it goes. It's pretty exciting when you think you put all this effort into making a book and creating this work and telling these stories, and now you're using all these other avenues in which to do it, whether it's spoken word, your own individual show, or someone taking that and transferring it into a play. It's a little bit exciting.
It's exciting, but without sounding too wanky about it. Like, I feel a responsibility about collecting hundreds and hundreds of stories around the country and sharing those with as many different people as possible. It's been interesting since the book's been written. I've been getting people emailing me and Facebooking me and saying, look, you don't know me, but I want to tell you about what it's like to have my own stories reflected back at me for the first time. So usually we hear about Sydney and Melbourne and all this kind of city life.
Absolutely.
It's so wonderful to hear about other people's stories in the bush and to kind of go, oh, gee, that's kind of like me, or gee, maybe I have it, similar to those kind of people. Anyway, so that means a lot to me. So obviously, the more that I can get those stories out there, because we need to hear more about rural LGBTI
Absolutely.
people's lives. We can't get enough of it, and it's my goal to make sure there's heaps.
That is a good goal to have. It's brilliant to realise that, well, not just realise, but it's brilliant to, everyone should be aware that we're part of a much bigger picture, and it's a great way to go. So thank you for joining us on Midsumma Musings. You've been watching Bent TV, and this is Midsumma Musings.